Hello, and welcome to a Reinvent Yourself podcast. I am Lisa Andria, and I want to thank you for watching this interview. My goal is to share insights from successful people in order to help others with their reinvention journey. My guest today is Kelly Nance, Roden and Fields independent consultant and owner of Studio 117, a full-service hair salon in Long Beach, California. Kelly has been on quite a journey in her life, and reinventing herself has been both about changing her career and her life. She has overcome many obstacles to get where she is today, and we're thankful that she's willing to share her insights and learnings. Welcome, and thank you, Kelly, for joining me today and taking time out of your busy day to share your story.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
So let's start out by telling us a bit about your background, how and why you started your journey from, let's say, a bit of self-doubt to the confident woman that you are today.
Okay. Well, when I was younger, I think my dad raised me, and I did a lot. I was kind of the woman of the house, and I don't know. I think I just got into this mode. I didn't want to do anything. I was not motivated at all. I wanted somebody to take care of me, kind of attitude. And so I ended up marrying somebody that was the wrong person for me, but it ended up being probably the best thing for me because I learned how to take care of myself. And by going through a lot of hurt along the way, which isn't always fun. But so I decided, I had just become a hairstylist, probably, I don't know, I was probably 5 years into it, maybe, or not even, maybe even 2 years into it when I was getting divorced. And so it really kind of made me have to, buckle down, and I had to take care of myself. Nobody else is going to take care of me at this point. So I just went for it. I made goals for myself, and I would get frustrated, of course, but I had that goal, and I made baby goals, I think, too, that helped, instead of making a huge goal and trying to get to it. So my goals at the time were like, I'm going to make $250 this week, which was huge for me. So I was like, okay. And I would get there, and I was like, okay, next week I'm going to do 300, so I just set these goals for myself. And it's been awesome. I believe in God, and I know he had a lot to do with it. I'm going to get emotional. But okay.
Well, and a good part of what we say as life coaches is to set attainable goals, to set know what your large long-term goal is, but to make short-term goals that get you to your long-term goal and set them attainable, so that you can just, okay, check, this is done, check, that's done, and just keep moving ahead. If you just keep moving ahead and you're getting to your goal, pretty soon you one step in front of the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just break, as I like to say, you break through that wall of doubt, and you just break through it, and then that's the first step, and then you take the next step, and pretty soon you're on step 10, and you're going, oh my God, the time just went by, and you've actually accomplished quite a bit in that period of time.
Exactly.
So,
and it's very rewarding.
Because you get to celebrate those goals. You accomplish them, and you get to celebrate them, right?
Exactly.
So how did you find the courage? Now let's talk about from there, you then took each step, and you had a pretty successful salon.
Yes, it took a while. I mean, like any business, it takes a while to build up. So I just persevered. I just kept putting myself out there. Unfortunately, I was in a different type of a salon situation, and the area was not like it is here in Long Beach. So it took me a little bit longer to build my clientele. But on an average for a hairstylist, it takes like 5 years to really kind of have a successful business. So, but because I was single, I could work later, and you just do it. You just do it.
That's kind of, So there was probably, because you went through a major life event, a divorce, and a lot of women go through that, and then they realize either they had not been working at all, or they had some limited work experience, and now they had to go back to work, right? Whatever was happening financially after the divorce, you need to make money. Right. Where did you get the courage to look past any of the doubts that you had about making this change, going through this life event and really focusing on making money and having your own business? I mean, obviously you didn't think, oh, I got to work for somebody else. You really believed in yourself with the salon, that you could stick with that and just build that business.
Right. Well, I started out working, my mother was a hairstylist, so I started working in her salon. So basically at that time I wasn't really working for somebody, but you're working behind your chair earning your commission. So when you work commission, you really have to bust butt. You know, you have to go out there, you have to stay later, you have to get there earlier. Um, I just I didn't have any choice because I wanted to live indoors with electricity and water. So I had to, I didn't have any choice. I just had to really push forward. And I did get a little bit of financial help from my ex, which helped. But the funny thing about that is that I was, they were going to award me $1,300 a month support from him. And I said, listen, all I need is $950. It'll cover my rent and my auto insurance. And that's all I need help with. And I was very proud of that because I didn't want to be one of those ex-wives that like went after him and was just a horrible divorce. And so I pride myself on that actually. And I said, you help me with a little bit of cash so I can pay these credit cards and I will not go after your pension. I mean, I was super nice. A lot of people don't think what I'm doing like that. Actually, people are like, you're nuts. And I'm like, no, I have to live with myself. So I was totally okay with it. And it made me even prouder because of where I came with a little bit that he gave me. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. I went through the same process, and I also didn't want to just
Have
make a lot of money. You know, if it doesn't feel good, and it's, to me, it wasn't good karma, you know, in a sense, right?
Yeah.
I
wanted to say I did it myself. You know, I did it with a little bit of help, but I did it with myself. And I was trying to be fair, you know.
That's perfect. So can you talk to the people in your life, and you can now bring up kind of what happened later as after you got everything together on your own salon business and the next change that happened in your life, but can you talk to the people in your life that helped you get the courage to make the change and just that were very supportive along the way? I know that you came into another relationship and that was very supportive, right?
Right. I started dating my husband now. I was pretty well past all of that at that point. I think I started dating him 6 years after my divorce. So he's just an extra blessing in my life. You know, I was so self-sufficient that I just wanted somebody added to my life. I didn't want somebody to necessarily take care of me. As far as my family, I'm kind of a, oh, what would you call me? I'm not a hermit, but I'm a very I don't know the right word. I'm a loner, I guess, in a sense. I don't like to be around a lot of people necessarily. I don't know where that changed in my life, but it did. And so I'm kind of more reserved. Like I'll open up to anybody, but I'm not one to just, I don't know, I'm just not around a lot of people. I have a handful of friends. I don't have 30 friends.
Well, were they very supportive after your divorce and with all the goals?
I had a few friends, yeah, that were supportive, but I'm not sure I really talked to them as much as I talked to my counselor. I did go to counseling once a week.
Perfect.
And so that was helpful for me. I would be honest, I hated it. I hated every Tuesday because that's when I met with her and I cried every week. And so it was hard, but I did it for a year and it was well worth every penny I spent on it. And it made me who I am today, which is a providing, confident person. I know I'm good at what I do. And I'm very blessed to have this business and to have moved to Long Beach. This was a blessing right here because I was in a salon that was dying, completely dying like an old dinosaur. And it was further away from my house. And I just kept praying, Lord, I know you've got something out there for me. Please, please, please just answer my prayer. And I would think, okay, I'll look at a salon and, you know, closer to my home. And then I'm like, I don't want to work in a salon like that because that's not me. You know, I'm not that person that wants to be around all those people. So, oh gosh, I just dreaded it. And one day I got home, got the mail, and there was this huge brochure, and it was from Phoenix Salon Suites. And I was like, what? Like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. My own little space. And I can have my own business and I don't have to like work for anybody or nobody has to work for me. I mean, it was an absolute godsend. And my husband was like grounding me. He's like, listen, you got to do your math. How many people are going to travel? Because I work in Downey, and now they're going to have to move or travel to Long Beach.
Oh,
So he's like, are you sure people are going to come? And I'm like, well, I'll just have to start asking. So I started I made a yes, a no, and a maybe list. And then I did the math. He helped me with the math because I'm terrible at math. And to kind of see if I could make the rent. Of course, I was saving in gas and, all these things, but it ended up, I knew I was going to do it, but I had to ground myself and be the adult and say, this can work because of this, not just because I'm going to go do it. So I think that's important too, because we don't want to go into something that could later be tragic.
Well, and that was one of my questions also. There's a big financially, the financial impact with making changes in your lives is very important. So you really just answered that question. You looked at exactly what the impact would be with making
Yes.
on where you're located and everything.
Right.
That played a big part then in your plan and your decision.
Right. Yes. But yeah, this place has been just a true blessing. I mean, I know this was from God, and I'm so glad I listened to him, because a lot of times we don't listen to him. We go all the way around it, and we come back later and we're like, dang, if I would have just did it when he told me to, I could have saved myself a lot of heartache. But
which goes to your faith. Your faith plays a big part in your life.
Absolutely.
And it really, it sounds like it was very much your grounding for decisions and just listening and hearing about what blessings were coming into your life and actually taking advantage of that. Now, everyone has a different type of spirituality, but what it is about either the universe or some being, and you have your specific faith, is about putting out there what it is that you want and what you feel you need, and then listening when those messages come in. I think that's very important, right? When the universe or when your God talks to you and gives you just like you said, listen.
Yes. And if it doesn't feel right, it's probably not right.
Yeah.
That's I think huge. I see people around me do things and I'm like, does that feel right? Because I don't think that's the right thing to do. But I did it. You gotta go through it, go around the long way and come back around. So.
But then when it's right and you're doing the right thing, in other words, you're living your life and not somebody else's life, all of a sudden opportunities come out of everywhere and they start coming to you and you're going, well, thank you very much. I have a friend who says, if she watches this, she'll know who she is. She says, thank you, God, I'll take some more, please. Yes. And that's what she says every day. Thank you, God, I'll take some more, please.
Exactly. And the scripture says you have not because you ask not. So, I ask a lot and he'll either say yes or he'll say no. So, or maybe later. So.
And you work hard to get where you're at. It's not like you just sit back and go, okay, give me everything I want. You're working hard for what you're getting. Yeah.
Exactly. He's not going to bless you if you're not doing the work.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
He gives you the universe or the God gives you those tools and you got to use them and you got to go with it.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you feel discouraged and when you have doubt? Now, you've just recently started a new part of your business.
Yes, I did.
Talk a little bit about that. How did you lead to that and where did that decision making come to? And have you felt discouraged about that? What gets you through those days when you feel doubt or discouraged, feel discouraged?
I can get discouraged. Okay, so Rodan & Fields is a skincare line that has been around for over 10 years. And it's created by 2 doctors. And it's just a wonderful anti-aging skincare line that I love and use. And so I was using the product, but very hesitant in selling it. And I'm not a salesperson, that kind of thing. And so finally, my girlfriend was selling it and she was after me for a long time. And I was like, no, I'll be your PC, but I'm not doing anything else. And she called me one day, and she's my very best friend. And she said, hey, Kelly, I need one more consultant for a goal. Can you help me? And I'm like, how much is it going to cost me? So we worked out this thing, and actually I basically signed and she bought a kit for herself. And so it didn't really cost me anything getting into it, which I plan on paying forward to somebody because my only regret in this business is that I didn't do it when she asked me the first time, because I would be so much further along now than I am right now. But I love this business. As a matter of fact, last night I just signed my first consultant, which is a huge woohoo. And yes, I'm so excited. And it's just a lot of, well, first of all, I think you need to be confident. You need to say, I can do this. So my goal is, this job doing hair is killing me, my body. I'm just starting to deteriorate. So my goal in 10 years is to retire from being a hairstylist and be a full-time Rodan and Fills consultant. And so I need to replace my income, obviously. And that is the goal. And I have a 10-year goal, which I think is so doable. My girlfriend thinks I will do it in 5, which that would be awesome. I don't plan on quitting hair then. Might slow down a little bit, but I'm not going to quit for probably 10 years. For anybody that's watching that's afraid I'm leaving, because I'm not. So
what did you do whenever you felt discouraged? And I know you've gone through a lot of different reinvention steps in your life, but what is it that you do when you get discouraged?
So we have a wonderful group of women behind us. So we're in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. So they'll just encourage you, like, don't get discouraged. It's, everybody goes through it, or, if you had a bad month or whatever. So I just think having the girlfriends, having the team, they all kind of cheer you on. We have Facebook posts, little groups that are private. And so you can go on there and you can ask a question, or you can, post something wonderful and they give you an attaboy kind of thing. So there's a lot of support that way, which is very helpful, because it can get discouraging, but boy, when you get something good, you're so excited.
So remember those triumphs when you get discouraged. That's a part, kind of what you're saying too. I know a lot of what you're going into, there's a lot of great Facebook groups, and sometimes I didn't think they were that supportive and they were that valuable, but I have gotten involved in some groups with what I'm doing, and they are very helpful. And then I become friends with some people, because they're the ones that are constantly giving attaboys, like you said, and congratulations. And it seems like you gravitate to some of these people because you appreciate what they're saying. What you give is what you get in return. If you constantly give congratulations to other people, you get that in return. And I think that's a helpful way to get over doubt and discouragement.
And I try to do the same for others. Like, I'm in one group that's kind of newbies, we'll call them, and I'll read some of the questions, and and I will encourage them, like, don't be discouraged. It happens. Not everybody's going to love the product. It's okay. It's like, we just keep on going. We keep on telling them, and we love it. They'll love it. They don't love it. It's okay. There'll be somebody else.
So what would you like to share with others as something of what would you think was the most important piece of advice whenever you're going through difficult times where you have to really dive deeply in yourself and find your confidence to be able to either reinvent yourself or just push yourself into another phase in your life?
I think number one, I would say some kind of counseling, talking to somebody that is not in it or around you family-wise, because everybody has an opinion of what you should do or whatever, and that person that you go see is neutral because they're not really involved in it. And I think that, as much as, like I said earlier, that I hated every Tuesday, it was the best thing I ever did. And I had a girlfriend tell me, it will be the best money you ever spend. And I was like, yeah, right. But she was right. It was the best money I ever spent. And again, my faith played into it. I just trusted in God. And I knew that no matter what was going on, is that he was always going to be there by my side. I was never going to be alone, ever, as long as I had him. So that helped.
That's a real testament to the strength of your faith. You believe that. Is there any part of your journey that you'd like to share with others that I missed, that in our conversation, that you'd like to share?
Gosh, I don't know. I think
and I guess I'd like to say a lot of what women say when they're actually living their own life is they live with authenticity. And I'm going to ask you, do you feel like you are living your authentic life?
Yes. Yeah. I met a really great guy. Again, not because I needed it financially, but more, you know, we don't want to be alone. We like to be around, you know, we want to have somebody that loves us and we love them, kind of thing. So that was a true blessing for me. And
Okay.
so my husband is super supportive. He, you know, like I said earlier on with moving my business, do the math, Kelly. But even my Rodan and Fields business, oh my gosh, he's like so supportive. I know it takes extra time away from him right now, but I keep telling him this is my retirement plan, so we got to do this. But he uses the face cream. I've got him on the wash. He loves the body replenish. He's like, I want my skin to feel like that. So I'm like, I have a deal for you. So he's just been super supportive about it. So and he even plugs in for me, like on social media. If I have something, he always, you know, comments and stuff. So it's super sweet. And
Oh.
I'm so thankful that I have him.
Well, thank you again, Kelly, for joining us today. And I appreciate your willingness to share this information. I want
Sure.
everyone to remember that going through a reinvention isn't just about changing jobs. It is about making a change in your attitude and the level of confidence to overcome a major setback or obstacle and getting the courage to move ahead in a different direction. When you're able to do that, all other aspects of your life will fall in line and goals and dreams will start to manifest. It reminds me of a quote from my favorite writer and philosopher, Joseph Campbell. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Don't be afraid to enter somewhere you fear. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Kelly.
All right. Thank you, Lisa.
And
Talk to you
please
later.
look at all the underneath us. We'll have every way to get a hold of Kelly if you live in Long Beach or want to buy some services, you know, some of those products from her. And I have all of my website and all information to get a hold of me so that I can help you reach your dreams. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Lisa.